I'm Toya Kaplan. I want to thank everybody for joining us again today. This segment is called Breaking It Down, and this is part 1. I wanted to use this as my visual today. This is to represent how big the topic of just sex trafficking is. We could have an additional pumpkin that would be just about labor trafficking. Today, I'm actually just going to talk about the stem, even just the smallest part, to begin to explain what sex trafficking is, broken down in definitions. There's a lot more, a whole lot more to talk about, but we want to keep it very basic so that you and your children can understand what's happening right now. Let's explain sex trafficking. It occurs when someone uses force, fraud, or coercion to cause a commercial sex act with an adult or causes a minor to commit a commercial sex act. Now let's talk about commercial sex acts. The definition is that it includes prostitution, pornography, and sexual performances done in exchange for any item of value such as money, drugs, shelter, food, or clothing. You also need to understand that sex trafficking does not only occur if a person is taken across state lines. This is if force, fraud, or coercion is used at all. It doesn't matter if it's across state lines or not. Also, it's demand driven. These are our buyers who we call Johns and we call dates. If it were not for the demand and if it were not for those buyers, we would not have the issue of sex trafficking. Let's talk about traffickers for just a minute. They can be male or female. They are criminals who exploit other humans in order to make money. They groom and they recruit unsuspecting victims. By grooming, we mean that they spend time drawing the child, the young adult, the teenager in by making them believe that they care about them, that they love them, and by buying things for them. Another person that's involved is called a bottom girl or a bottom. She is a female that's appointed by the trafficker to recruit, supervise, instruct the victims, take and post photos and descriptions. She may book the hotel rooms. She may collect money or inflict punishment on other girls. In most cases, these girls who are bottoms were trafficked as well initially by their trafficker, and they consider it a promotion to become a bottom girl. Traffickers, they believe that they're businessmen. They believe that what they're doing is creating a business, and that is all that it is. They have narcissistic tendencies. They are self-serving and in every way consider themselves first, even though they very much talk about how they take care of the girls and how they protect them, but in a very narcissistic way. At the end of it all, when you listen to some of these videos, you actually hear that that's what they're doing. It is very selfishly motivated. They are master psychological manipulators. They know exactly what to say and exactly what to do in each situation, and they will take their time to do so. They are opportunistic. They will sweep in any moment, in any setting, to come and catch their victims off guard and implant in them the thought that this is what they want to do. They are predators because they choose children, and they choose children because they can be vulnerable and naive, and they know that. They exploit the dreams of children by promising love, family, wealth, gifts, and freedom. Victims are both young children, they are boys and girls, they're teenagers, and they can be men or women. They can be U.S. citizens, lawful permanent residents, or foreign nationals, and they can be found in urban, suburban, and rural areas. There's so much confusion when it comes to prostitution versus sex trafficking. The terms are used intermingled. There is actually a difference. When you're watching a news broadcast, you need to understand that by law, all minors are considered to be trafficked. Legally, in the very definition of it, is that they are sex trafficked because they're minors. Let's make the differentiation here. Let's understand that prostitution is consensual. This is an adult who is in agreement without force, fraud, or coercion with a buyer or a John that this is what she has chosen to do, and they agree together that this is the act they will do. And then she keeps the money from said act. A sex trafficking situation is not consensual from infancy all the way up to whatever age. It's been done through force, fraud, manipulation, or you've been deceived by a trafficker, and money is kept by that trafficker. Let's stop calling trafficking victims and trafficking survivors prostitutes, and let's understand that they were preyed upon because of a weakness or a need in their life in that moment, maybe an addiction, homelessness, and because of that, they were used, their money was kept, and they were in many cases abused to control them to do so. The next Breaking It Down is going to be done by Michaela and Brian Covington. Brian works with the AG's office in another state. He worked in New Mexico in the AG's office in the New Mexico Sex Trafficking Task Force and is doing so now where he lives. His wife, Michaela Covington, worked for the New Mexico Dream Center, and I believe that as a couple, they can bring so much information and understanding. There is much, much to come, again, regarding this super huge topic of sex trafficking, and we are going to take it one piece at a time to where the parents and kids, grandkids, and grandparents can understand what each one of these segments mean. Thank you so much. Please subscribe below, please follow us, and please share. I am super excited about the next couple of segments after that. There'll be a two-part segment on teaching people how to treat you, and these will be done by young adults. We'd love to have your children and your young adults watch this because it's going to break down and help people understand how you teach people how to treat you. And I think you're going to find it to be such an important strategy to get into the hands of our young people and our children. Thank you for watching, thank you for sharing, and thank you for subscribing.